Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles. Buffalo Bills trample the New England Patriots 24-10. My hesitation there was, can we really call it a trample when last time it was a true trample? The last time these two teams met in the wild card round, Bills scored 7 touchdowns on 7 drives. Remember that crazy stat that they gained every possible yard they could gain? Like they had 480 yards of field position and they gained 480 yards. So this game was not that. Hence my hesitation about using the word trample. It's just perspective. No, the Bills won this game handedly. More of a trot over the squirming body of the Patriots rather than like a trample to death like the wild card game was. Okay, I'm getting off track. 24-10. Well, the game started good on Amazon Prime. You know, the Patriots stopped the Bills for a field goal early. That was a big deal because, like I said, 7 drives, 7 touchdowns last time. And then the Patriots took the lead with that screen pass to Marcus Jones, which looked like it was like a hot route. Madden players definitely knew that. Like the outside linebacker blitzed in and Mac Jones was like, well, that means I throw it to that guy, and just did it. And then Marcus Jones made his returning skills evident. He was, of course, the punt returner against the Jets that won that game for them, and got his touchdown, which was his. I mean, he's a punt returner / defensive back. That was his first snap on offense, that touchdown. But that was it for good news for the Patriots. From there, you know, the Patriots defense played okay. You know, they forced 3 punts, and they held them to that field goal early, but the Patriots offense struggled mightily. You know, and Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels, they were talking about, you know, the New England fans, while they look good in the jerseys and the you know, pat the Patriots at midfield, they were frustrated. And, you know, I think Herbstreit said, you can't tell who they're mad at, the quarterback or the system. You know, it's tough too, because I don't always defend Patriots fans. And I'm sure there's the dumb fans in every fan base who think everything is against them and stuff like that. But I think there is sort of a little bit of pity that we have to have on Patriots fans, because they think they actually think that they're going to get back to something that looks like Brady. That's what I feel like. I feel like they think, okay, we've done the rebuild. We did it for 2 years. Now we should start seeing the signs of getting back to the rebuild to what we used to have. It's like, bad news, guys. You may never get that back. You will never get that back. You'll never get that back. And I, as a Seahawks fan, I can speak from experience. We had the Legion of Boom. We had this amazing defense with all these amazing players, Bobby Wagner, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman. And then we had a couple years where everyone in the fan base agreed, we're rebuilding. But then as we got back to it, many fans were like, well, we're not back yet. We haven't rebuilt. You know, it's like, because it's not the Legion of Boom, we're never going to get back there. We're never going to have the Legion of Boom again. No team is. So I feel like that's what's happening with the Patriots fans' boos that we heard a lot here. Though you could start by firing Matt Patricia, because he's obviously part of the problem. He wasn't even a good defensive coordinator. Horrible head coach. How is he a good offensive coordinator? I don't know. That seems like step one. The Bills rolled through the game, as I said, trampled over a squirming Patriot. They had those 2 second quarter touchdowns, and that kind of changed the complexion of the game. There's one to Diggs, one to Gabe Davis, which was that was Josh Allen rolling right again, then jumping midair from the sideline, throwing the ball back against the grain into the end zone to Gabe Davis for a touchdown. It's the most Josh Allen touchdown ever. But that made the score 17-7. forced the Patriots into passing situations, allowed the Bills to feel comfortable running the ball much more. James Cook was 14 for 64, Singletary's 13 for 51. I praise the Bills all the time for not sticking with the run when it's not working. Well, it has been working. This wasn't like as good as it was on the Browns game, but it's nice to see these good, efficient numbers from their multiple running backs: James Cook, Devin Singletary, Nyheim Hines, and of course, Josh Allen can run it. Though he shouldn't be. God, Josh Allen. I just don't know. Is he going to make it? Kirk Herbstreit's, I just love his competitive spirit. Josh Allen's being dragged down and looking for another defender to hit him as well. It's just not going to last. I'm sorry. There's no such thing as indestructible. If someone was indestructible, it would have been Cam Newton. And he played like 100 games where we just had to keep saying he doesn't look right. So Bills go to 9-3. Good position for the number 1 seed. They got the tiebreaker of the Chiefs. They got to hold off the Dolphins though, and the Patriots. They fall to 6-6 in critical shape. They're competing for that wild card spot with the Dolphins, the Jets, the Chargers, and one of the Bengals or Ravens. It's tough. All right, Mukilteo Football Show. This show is football everything, NFL history, legacy, ups and downs of a season. Follow us at MUK_football on Twitter or YouTube. Subscribe, share, review on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you get your podcasts. We have shows Thursday after Thursday Night Football, Sunday after Sunday Night Football, and Monday after Monday Night Football. And what we do every Thursday, we take 4 of the big games coming up for this week 13 here, and we're going to just talk about them and pick the line, pick the game against the spread, and just, we have some nuggets today for history today, some all-time standing stuff to start with, but, let's just get right to it. First game, the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. I know it's not the most exciting game in terms of this season, but this is an exciting game for the all-time NFL wins standings. 102 years of standings. Both the Packers and the Bears are tied at 786 wins. So the winner of this, unless they tie, which would be epic, will finally hold sole possession of the all-time wins. Now, this was a big plot line going into the season. I think a lot of us thought the Packers would comfortably have it by this point, but they have only gained a game on the Bears, and we're going into week 13. And the drama for me here is that could the Bears hold on? Could they hold on to ever giving this up? Because they have had it since the beginning. They've had the most wins of any NFL team in NFL history since 1920. And they've just slowly eroded. The Packers, 3 decades of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, have made up so many games. I actually ran the numbers. In 1992, the all-time wins was Bears 556, Packers 453. So the Bears led by 103 wins in 1992 after they had just had a great 1980s. Then 3 decades of Favre and Rodgers, and the Packers have gained 103 wins. But how crazy would it be at the very end of the Aaron Rodgers era? And I do think we're coming to the end of the Aaron Rodgers era. What if the Bears win this game and they hold on for the rest of the season? They never give up sole possession of this right at the end. And then maybe it's time for Chicago to be better than Green Bay for the first time in 30 years. The Bears could do this. I don't know. It's exciting for me. And, I see a lot of people talk about this record and stuff, and it's just longevity, semantics. The Packers and Bears have both been here. Let me point out, the Packers and the Bears are comfortably ahead in all-time wins, but neither team is in the top 5 or bottom 5 of all-time losses. That belongs to the St. Louis, Chicago, Arizona, Phoenix Cardinals. They have 785 losses. The Lions have 701. Then the Giants, Eagles, and Washington. So we are talking not necessarily purely about longevity, but also success. Bears and Packers, 786 wins apiece. And it all comes down to this game, which may or may not have Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers in it. Both of them want to play. Fields wants to play after watching Philadelphia put up the 8th highest rushing total of the Super Bowl era against Green Bay. Jalen Hurts had 100 yards in that first quarter. So Fields is like, yeah, put me against that defense. And Rodgers certainly wants to play after watching Mike White of the Jets throw all over the Bears. He's saying, yeah, make sure that I play that defense and that Jordan Love doesn't, right? Because this is a good day to pad your stats. You don't want Jordan Love getting a good game out there because Aaron Rodgers, he's a PR guy. In reality, both these teams are so deeply flawed. I mean, this is a horrible game to pick because it probably comes down to which quarterback plays and if both play, which one is the healthiest. It says the line is Bears underdogs by 4.5. I'm rooting for the Bears, but I think I'll take the Packers on this because without Fields, the Bears have absolutely no hope. Without Rodgers, I think the Packers would probably be fine. Then again, I felt like they should be fine pretty much the whole year, and yet they're 4-8. So we'll see. But I am going to go with the Packers on this, but rooting for the Bears. I win either way. All right, next game. The Jacksonville Jaguars go to the Detroit Lions. I know these are some weird games to start with. I promise we're getting to Miami, San Francisco. We will talk Kansas City, Cincinnati right after this. But this is an interesting game as well. Jaguars, Lions. It's, first of all, it's a battle of our number 1 and number 2 overall picks in the 2022 NFL Draft. Aiden Hutchinson for the Lions. Trayvon Walker for the Jaguars. Rookie defensive ends, outside linebacker, edge rusher guys. No, I mean, obviously that's not really the headline of this game, though they are both doing fairly well. Or I should say that they're both doing what we expected. Aiden Hutchinson's having some bad moments, but also some very, very good moments, game-changing moments. Got 5.5 sacks, 2 interceptions. And then Walker has just kind of been invisible, learning a new position. He wasn't really a pass rusher in college, and now he's learning all the outside linebacker stuff. So they're doing okay, both of them. The number 1 and number 2 picks in the draft back in April. But I'm more looking at this game. I think we're all looking at this game. It's a good matchup on the road again for Trevor Lawrence. I think we're all wondering, was that it? Was that the breakout? Is the generational quarterback prospect, is he coming? If he is, he'll beat up the Lions, right? Because he's had momentum of 3 pretty solid games with a transcendent final drive against the Ravens that got everybody's attention. Our eyes are on Trevor Lawrence. If he carves up the Lions here in week 13, oh man, things are going on fire. And on the other side, if the Lions handle Trevor Lawrence and handle the Jaguars here at home, then they will be 4 out of 5 wins, with their only loss being a last-second field goal to the Bills on Thanksgiving. And the Bills we just watched bounce back and crush the Patriots. We're going to be feeling good about one of these teams, the Jaguars or the Lions, after week 13. And this game's basically a pick'em. It is, so Detroit is underdogs by 1, Jacksonville favored. It's quarterbacks, right? When it's a pick'em, I look at the quarterbacks, and I'll take Trevor Lawrence, even in his poor play, over Jared Goff any dang day of the week. Jaguars, they're getting this. All right, next game. Miami at San Francisco. The prodigal son returns. Mike McDaniel returning to face his mentor, protege, Kyle Shanahan. I mean, Mike McDaniel was there for the whole run. The Arian Foster Texans, the Browns, Kyle Shanahan Browns, the days with the Washington team, with the days of the Falcons, everything before this year with the 49ers. And Mike McDaniel's back, taking on his mentor. This could be a really interesting scheme game to see what does Mike McDaniel know about stopping, quote unquote, his own defense. Kind of an interesting chess match. Though the Dolphins are underdogs by 4. That might not be the case had not left tackle Taron Armstead tore his left pec So that's not an ideal time to be facing San Francisco. You can't really scheme. I mean, you can scheme around it, but you can't optimize your scheme if you've got to think about a backup tackle against Nick Bosa. So even though the Dolphins throttled the Texans last week to the point where they're resting their guys in the fourth quarter, and the 49ers offense looked shaky against the Saints. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo, of course, he's fine. Everyone loves him. They're heroically guiding an offense with 5 blue chip players to 13 points. You know, I know I take a lot of shots at Jimmy Garoppolo. There's so much stuff out there, people saying, you know, the win-loss record for Kyle Shanahan with and without Jimmy Garoppolo. I just think, yeah, those are the quarterbacks that Kyle Shanahan was using are quarterbacks who couldn't beat out Jimmy Garoppolo. So they suck. There is a multiverse. There is an alternate universe where Kyle Shanahan had a good quarterback in the last 5 years, and I think they have 2 Super Bowl rings. I think the 49ers have 2 Super Bowl rings right now with that, 2019 and last year. This was the 5 years that the Kyle Shanahan system took over the NFL. He should be at the heart of success, and he's on the fringes, and I believe that's because of Jimmy Garoppolo. So don't give me the win-loss record. There's a fictitious world where they have a Stafford or somebody like that where they're winning Super Bowls. Okay, that was my last shot at Jimmy Garoppolo. I promise. This game, of course, is way more than that. There's so much talent on the field in this game. We got Tyreek Hill. We got Jalen Waddle from Tua. We got Deebo Samuel. We got Christian McCaffrey. We got George Kittle. I mean, there is a lot of stuff going on in this game. And of course, it'll probably be like 10-7. All right, next game. Kansas City Chiefs go to Cincinnati to face the Bengals. The line is close. Chiefs are favored by 2.5. I'm surprised at that line that it's so low. There always seems to be like some lingering uncertainty around the Bengals, but not here. The red hot Chiefs are coming in and it's under a field goal line. I know one of the things I've talked about, maybe this is what Vegas is picking up on. I'm just kidding. Is that the Bengals' red zone offense has improved because they weren't even good in the red zone, even while they were making their Super Bowl run last year. All that December stuff and January stuff is all big plays and defense. But now, and they weren't good in September. But now, October, November, the Bengals have suddenly become efficient in the red zone. They have I think someone posted a 17 touchdown streak or something that doesn't count kneel downs. There's a couple of kneel downs in there, so not an official streak, but a common sense streak. They're scoring touchdowns when they get in the red zone. That has changed. This is a already good team improving. And perhaps there's some of the AFC title game in that line as well. I mean, after all, the Bengals did beat the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl. The Mahomes offense was slaughtering the Bengals defense in the first half to the point that it basically fell over. Then the Bengals dropped 8, said, do anything but that, what you were doing in the first half, and the Chiefs couldn't. And it was baffling. I don't know. I'm going to take Mahomes here. I just think this is sad, or maybe not sad, but this shows you how great Pat Mahomes' career has been. But that AFC title game loss was the low point of his career last year. And we saw like super energy, passion out of him when they were crushing the Buccaneers in week 4. I think we see that again. I think this is a big part of Mahomes' MVP candidacy. His revenge against the Bucs, his revenge against the Bengals this week. I'm going to take Mahomes, scorched earth, Chiefs to cover the 2.5. Though if it goes different, if Joe Burrow has a day instead of Mahomes, then I don't know, maybe he puts his foot a little bit more into the MVP race. We got a good MVP race this year. I think I'll talk more about that after the week, but it's going to be good. So I will take the Chiefs to cover that 2.5 in Cincinnati. All right, we will see you Sunday and Monday to talk about Week 13. My name is Miles, and good night.